my quotation went on to say never. Here's the thing. What you quoted as a response to me, what you quoted as a response to Wheeler, my quotation, my reference, saying that I had lied or I need to address a lie. Those were not the words of a pharaoh. Let me quote you as what you said. Here's exactly what you said. You said, let me just find it. Okay. So I said, pharaohs do not typically, these were my words. I said pharaohs do not typically is not unanimous. There are exceptions to typically. I said pharaohs do not typically record their hello?
Yeah, I'm just trying to follow where we are. Let me look at what you're quoting. Now you're quoting above the Wheeler, which says,
right.
However.
You showed my word.
Yeah, let me put the words on here. It says, Cometian pharaohs who regarded themselves in Tiru on earth to record negative episodes in their encounters. And of course, pharaohs. Here, take this. Of course, pharaohs were not the authors of anything, right? Of course, that Manetho and the scribes were the writers of what the pharaohs authored them to write. The pharaohs themselves were not the scribes. They had scribes. You understand that, right? Ramses not the author of any book.
I'm just addressing that could be your counter argument. I'll let you deal with that, but I'm just addressing I'm discovering my own words.
Are you saying the pharaohs wrote something?
If I disagree with that, even if I'm to agree with that, that still doesn't take away from what I'm about to say, but can I continue?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Right, okay. So you showed them where I personally wrote difficult. I didn't say unanimously never. That wasn't my word. You showed them that, right?
I showed them everything that you used to talk about. I put the camera on the screen.
Okay, beautiful, man. And again, this is just passion, it's not anger, I'm thinking my brother, and this is for our edification as a people. This is not for us to fight and tear down each other. It's not like that.
No.
Okay, so I said it wasn't typical pharaoh, and you responded by quoting the papyrus that you call the papyrus Celier, correct? Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah.
Celier. And you read the following. Here's what you said. You said, it so happened that the land of Kemet was in distress because there was no, quote, no lord or king. I'll read that again. You said,
there's no king.
It so happened that the land of Kemet was in distress because there was no lord or king. And you went on to say,
because the king was taken off the throne.
Right?
Because there was a king arguing. There was a king arguing with another king. Two kings. One was Kemetic. One was named Apophis. He was a king from the north, and they were arguing and led to a war. When Apophis took over, the Cometians acknowledged that there was no king because they did not acknowledge Apophis. They acknowledged Apophis as the enemy. So there was no king. It continues to say why there was no king, because this gentleman, this conqueror came in and did such and such, took the Nitiru off the throne, and no king in the Cometian eyes would take all the Nitiru off the throne and put Set on. And that's why it says, yes, there was no king, because for 101 years, Apophis was ruling Kemet, and the Cometians didn't like that, so they acknowledged that there was no king.
Well, you see, Brother Pharaoh, I didn't even finish reading my sentence, and then you added all those new details that you didn't include in the first video. That's almost, it to me personally comes across as a little defensive. Say at least, let me include but the only words you said, because you didn't say all that. But with all due respect, we didn't say. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. So you said, it so happened that the land of Kemet was in distress because there was no lord or king. Then you went on to say, and again, I want everybody to remember, bear in mind, I said that it was not typical for a pharaoh to record their feet, a pharaoh being a quote-unquote lord or king. It was not typical for a pharaoh, a lord, or a king to do this. And here we have Brother Pharaoh quoting the papyrus Celier saying that there was no lord or king. Apophis, the enemy of Egypt, had seized control over the entire country. So my question is, if there was no lord or king at this time, and you just added all these beautiful new details now, which you did not include in your original rebuttal of my so-called lie or asinine statements, who was the lord or king? Who was the pharaoh? If there was no, if
That's
the
a beautiful.
said there was no lord or king, who was the pharaoh that recorded this defeat? Please tell me.
Beautiful question. Okay, first of all, let me go to. Oh shoot, sorry. Hold on. Rebuttal.
Okay.
Merge. Cancel. Let me go down to that in my documents here. so I can show the crowd what's happening. Okay. Who is the king of that? Who is the king of that time? Let me show the video of this. Let me show the video of this. Okay, here you go. Boom. Okay, that's the Ciliar Papyrus. Okay, Sin-Kenare was the king at that time. Sin-Kenare was the king at that time who was recording this event. His scribes were recording this event. He had gotten conquered. Once Sin-Kenare was taken off of the throne, the Kemetians do not acknowledge an enemy as the Lord of Kemet, especially when that enemy removes all the gods and introduces Set as the highest god, when to the Kemetians, Set is the enemy of Osiris, Set is the enemy of Horus. So when an enemy comes in of another race, who they say is an unknown race, takes out Sin-Kenare, which the papyrus is called the debate or the argument between Apep and Sin-Kenare. Sin-Kenare was the pharaoh at the time. He had gotten defeated. After he had gotten defeated, then the Kemetian scribes started writing the misery that Kemet was in. There's no more king because this enemy has come and put Set on the throne and has discarded all of our Netiru. So to answer your question, who was the king of the time? Sin-Kenare. And he was obliterated. Yes.
And defeated him and his scribes. Why was he allowing these scribes to write this? How was
Wait, hold on. If the European man, the white man, oppressed Africans in America, and did not allow them to read or write, how are there still documents of slaves writing stories of their misery in their diaries? Very simple.
Actually, a lot of the accounts that we have, I'm not saying that that's impossible, but a lot of the accounts that we have.
How can a person not write a story? How can a scribe not write? The scribes are writing, and the papyrus is buried.
That was not my question. I didn't say how can a scribe not write.
What's the?
But to answer that question about the slavery thing, actually, it's a lot of the accounts that you have, at least in the textbooks, were recorded by Europeans, the artists paying their own whatever, but that's from the textbook account. We kept oral traditions in our songs, like "Let My People Go."
Okay, even if slave masters in effect and oppressing people, Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad, Yahweh ben Yahweh, we're still in the diaspora right now. We're still in slavery right now. And yes, people can still write a diary. The scribes were still writing about the negativity that happened upon Kemet. And these scrolls were buried and these scrolls were hidden. And then they were found again. Scribes can still write. Even if one scribe that was still writing who was caught writing was Ankh-Sheshonq. And he was writing about the oppression of the Ptolemies. And Ankh-Sheshonq was in second century. And the Ptolemies caught him and put him in jail. And he still wrote on potsherds. So yes, the Kemetians still had the ability to pick up pen and write, even though their kings were slain. Yes.
I'm not questioning their ability. That would be again to use your word asinine or stupid of me to question their ability. And I don't want the people to think to again misinterpret what I'm trying to say. The question is not about questioning their ability. You see what I'm saying? I was only asking you, if there was no Lord or King, Pharaoh, you see what I'm saying, on the throne, as you read, as the Egyptians themselves read. You didn't say any of this other stuff. You simply said there was no Pharaoh. And that's and that falls right in line to my point in my essay, or it falls right in line to my introduction, right? But then the second question is, all I wanted to know was, and this is just side knowledge, it's not really pertaining to my evidence. My second question was, why did the prophets allow these pharaohs, these scribes to write